Central Texas has become a hub for semiconductor chip manufacturing here in the U.S.
Just in this factory alone, we make about 1 billion chips a year.
The U.S. state of Texas is experiencing one of the best booms in its economy right now. You might think this is because of its oil resources, but no. Texas has risen to become America's chip manufacturing capital, and in this video, we will tell you all about how and why this was made possible. With the advent of the CHIPS for America Act, passed by the U.S. Congress in July 2022, which aims to advance semiconductor manufacturing in Texas and across the country, there has been a significant emergence of Texas as a chips manufacturing capital of the country. The governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, acknowledged the significance of this legislation for Texas by stating that Texas is a beacon of innovation and has remained the nation's leading exporter of semiconductors and other electronic components for 11 years in a row. Visibility by leveraging Texas's investments in the semiconductor sector, the CHIPS Act of 2022 has encouraged more semiconductor-related businesses to locate in the Lone Star State. The act further strengthened the security of the semiconductor supply chain in our nation and strengthened national security by reducing our reliance on foreign production, in addition to enabling Texas and the United States to develop even greater economic potential. Abbott stated, "I want to thank Senator Cornyn and Rep. McCall for their work in passing this important piece of legislation that will pave the way for more possibilities for future generations of Texans and Americans." The production of the smallest microchips in the nation is now concentrated in the second-largest state in America. Texas is currently the ideal position to lead this upcoming generation of chip fabrication because they have ports, access to materials, and a low cost of doing business. Although Texas Instruments was responsible for the invention of the integrated circuit more than 60 years ago, Silicon Valley in California has long held the distinction for, well, improving technology on silicon. The new $17 billion chip manufacturing plant built by Samsung in Taylor, Texas, north of Austin, was cited by Business Facilities magazine, which ranked Texas as the top state in the country for semiconductors. It has been emphasized by a Republican from Texas about the national security component when he welcomed the Samsung facility to Taylor in December 2021. The CHIPS Act, which offers incentives for businesses to establish semiconductor chip manufacturing facilities in the United States, was pushed through Congress with the support of Texas congressional leaders and others. The Lone Star State will benefit greatly from additional semiconductor sector investment in a variety of ways, as will Texas and its residents. These involve widening STEM instruction in our schools, paying workers at Texas chip manufacturing facilities higher wages, and broadening the revenue base of Texas counties. By diversifying the state's economy and boosting its almost $2 trillion GDP, it also helps Texas maintain its position as the top exporting state in the country, and the glorious ranking of the United States as the 9th largest economy in the world. The Lone Star State, or Texas, is the ideal location for national research centers due to Texas's ability to draw considerable private investment in chip production, both domestically and internationally, and due to Texas's remarkable research capabilities at our Tier 1 universities. Texas is well positioned to become not only America's advanced manufacturing hub, but also the incubator for semiconductor innovation, research, and development. Just a look at TI's potential $30 billion commitment reveals an advanced semiconductor facility in the Sherman area, and Samsung's $17 billion and potentially expanding facility in Taylor. This is proven advantageous for both Texas's future and the security of the United States in a world that is changing quickly. What do you think about Texas's future in this regard? The biggest manufacturers of semiconductors in the U.S. have historically been well-known companies like Intel, Texas Instruments, and NVIDIA. A number of smaller but nonetheless major businesses have also made a considerable contribution to the domestic industry, particularly in Texas. The Lone Star State is growing into a hub for the development of semiconductors through investments, company relocations, and federal incentives. Texas is drawing a lot of experts and fabricators, rivaling Arizona and California. What causes this new movement to emerge? What adds on to the advancements is that although the bulk of chip makers have their corporate headquarters in California, many big businesses have expanded their operations and created offices there. Businesses like Intel, AMD, and Samsung constructed facilities there in the past to meet their evolving needs. There is a huge talent pool in the area, particularly in and around Dallas, Austin, and Houston. The availability of engineers, designers, quality assurance personnel, and other crucial fab workers is not a problem for manufacturers. In other states with difficult manpower sourcing, it might not be the case. Another cause why this boom is largely successful is that Texas is a vast state. The state's area measures 268,597 square miles, and a large portion of it is suitable for business growth. The state's Plains regions provide a solid foundation for the state's foundries and semiconductor facilities, which are sizable in and of themselves. Its location and facilities make it possible to serve both domestic and international clients. It is simple to transport goods around thanks to the abundance of seaports, airports, and railroads. Additionally, they make it simpler for fabricators to obtain raw materials, which are vital to the production of chips. First, a few well-known figures in the industry have pledged large investments in Texas. Texas Instruments, TI, intends to start building 4 new fabs atop a main Sherman facility. The project, which is expected to cost $30 billion altogether, might result in the creation of about 3,000 new employments once it is finished in 2025. The factories will produce 300mm wafers. Analog and embedded processor components have been the focus of other facilities making the identical wafers. The variety of components made at these new plants is uncertain. It's also possible that it will change over time. However, there is a recognized rise in demand in the automotive and industrial sectors. TI aims to increase its independence by localizing important semiconductor supply chain linkages. Just 30 miles outside of Austin, Taylor will be the site of Samsung's new $17 billion advanced chip-making facility. The 1,200-acre facility's construction will start next year and last until 2024. With its most recent investment, Samsung wants to bolster its existing Texas operations while creating around 1,800 additional employment. Moving ahead, both Samsung's own devices and those of its customers will be supported by its semiconductors. All because Texas is ever emerging into being a promising ground for advancement in chip manufacturing. And with that, we come to the end of this video. Click subscribe and do not forget to like and share the video as well. Drop your comments below and let us know of any suggestions as well.